Hey everyone, how's it going? So what am I working on now? Well, I'm working on a Mazda 3. It's a 2010. That's really not important here. It's got transmission codes in it for one of the shift solenoids, shift solenoid A. And basically it's like it's stuck in third gear or whatever the heck it is, I don't recall. This thing actually came in the other day, last week, we're just getting to it now. But the whole point of this video, this is going to be a really short video. The point of this video is when you're following a diagnostic flow chart, let's say, if you have access to it, hopefully you do. Sometimes you need it, depending on what your issue is. When you're following a flow chart, I've learned this a long time ago. Here's one right here for this car, and I'm actually up to number 8 on the flow chart. What you need to do whenever you get a flow chart, like I said, there's actually 10 steps to this. Here's the first page. Things to check. Check this. Do you have this value, or did you find this? Yes, no. Then it tells you go to whatever step. You basically follow it along. So I made it to step 8. Now, I usually read ahead, and I'll usually read everything in there. Because years ago I got burned by a GM product, and I was working on, I don't recall what the problem was, but I was working on it, and it was like, 5 pages of, follow this, follow this, follow this. And like, on the 7th page, or whatever the heck it was, there happened to be, do you have voltage on this particular wire? No, check this fuse. Why wouldn't you check that fuse first? That's what I could never understand. I go to check the fuse, and the fuse was blown. Why the fuse was blown, I don't recall, but the fuse was blown. Why was that not step 1 or 2? Why was it step 37 or whatever the heck it was? But it was next to last page. And it's like, why? I actually called GM, and I called engineering. I said, why do you have this step this far down in the diagnostic flow chart? It made no sense. I don't remember what the outcome was. I don't remember anything about it. But that one in particular, that got me to start reading these flow charts completely. Reading both ends of the yes, no, as you see there, it says, switch ignition off. Inspect for continuity between the coupler component, terminal A and terminal AG on the wiring harness side. Is there continuity? Can you read that? Yes. Repair or replace the wiring harness for a possible open circuit. Come again? That A to AG is a single wire. If I'm checking continuity, I would hope that I have continuity. So it's saying, is there continuity? Yes. Repair or replace the wiring harness. Excuse me? They mixed it up. It should be, yes, go to the next step, or no, repair or replace the wiring harness. Doesn't make sense. But anyway, here's my reading. I know I got a good wire. I got it'll bounce to 2. I have 1 to 2/10 ohms of resistance. That's good. That's a good wire. So I know the circuit's good from the tranny controller down to the actual plug that goes into the tranny. I know that's all good. Otherwise, I'd have an open circuit or something. So this is wrong. And this is a factory flow chart. I'm surprised, being a 2010 now, 14 years later, that somebody didn't pick up on that and straighten that out. Common failure on these for this particular problem is the transmission controller. And right now, it wants me to reassemble everything and then try it out again after clearing everything, because all the circuitry and everything else is good up to this point. So basically, if I clear everything out and I drive and it resets again, which it's already done it'll reset immediately. Basically then replace the tranny controller. Well, guess what? I already know the tranny controller is no good, only because I've cleared the code so many times in the process of doing all of this, plus the battery's out of it, I don't feel like reassembling everything. The training controller's located under the battery. Way to go, Mazda. Battery sits right here. That's the connector for the training controller. The training controller's down there. So, yeah, way to go, Mazda. So at this point, like I said, a common failure on these is the training controller for this issue. So at this point, I'm confident this thing's gonna need a training controller. No, I did not go through an entire video with this vehicle, but I just figured I'd show you this one thing in particular. Always think, even when you're going through a factory flowchart, they can be wrong. You know, they're not infallible. You know, I'm not infallible. You're not infallible. Nobody's infallible. So people can make mistakes. Flowcharts can be wrong. Diagnostics can be wrong. Especially when, if I were to follow this the way it says, you know, I would think, oh my gosh, I got a bad wire somewhere. Well, no, I don't. I got a good wire. So, yeah, the only other thing I could think to do at this point is basically go to ground. Let's do that. Let's go to ground. And then I'll know absolutely certain that that wire is not grounded out, creating a problem. Let's do that. So I disconnected. And here is the ground to the chassis. I got nothing. If I go right back here, yep. So I know that circuit's good and it's not grounded. So nothing to worry about there. All right, so like I said, just a quick video just to explain something there. You know, just in case you ever run into it, always second guess things. It's actually the best way to be. And always read ahead. So this way you know what you're coming into. I caught that right away. When I read that initially, I was like, well, wait a minute, that's not right. So, you know, things happen. It's not often that I come across this, but this is one of them. So, all right. Hopefully you're getting something out of my videos. If you are, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, guys, have a great day. Keep wrenching.